How do you pass CELPIP easily in 2024, scoring a 9 plus? That's what I mean by passing, because that's what most people need. They are guaranteed steps. If you follow them, there is no way you're going to score below 9. Most of our students don't, and you will see some reviews right here of people who have taken our courses, seen our videos online, and followed the advice that I'm going to give you in this video on all 4 modules, starting with reading, then focusing on listening, writing, and speaking. These are the things you want to make sure you do, and some things you really have to avoid if you want to score a 9 plus. So for CELPIP reading, you have 2 strategies. 2 main strategies. We'll look at them now. Remember, this is one of the hardest modules in 2024. So if you do this one, and the next one I'll show you, you will definitely make it and score more than 10 even if you learn the first strategy, which is the art of paraphrasing. Now, when you get the passage, it is paraphrased. In the questions, the same words are not used. The options have different wordings. They're paraphrased as well. Now, if you can learn how to paraphrase what you read, you have no problem with this. For example, have a look at this little paragraph. Accruing debt for a wedding is common for couples. A recent survey from U.S. News found that 36% of the newlyweds go into debt for their nuptials. Usually, the debt goes on to credit cards, though some couples take on bank loans, family loans, or a combination. Okay, let me paraphrase this. Let me say this in my own words. And the way I do this in the first go is by explaining this to a 5-year-old baby. Okay, make it very, very simple for yourself, because CELPIP is going to use complex wordings. It's your job to simplify it for yourself. So couples spend a lot of money on a wedding. Most couples, more than 50%, spend so much on nuptials that they have no money left, and they go on debt. They have to get loans or family help. Okay, this is very basic. I have avoided the hard words accruing debt and nuptials and all those things. So make it simple for yourself. Now let me paraphrase it in another way. Let me use a summary. Okay, well, couples are struggling because they get into debt because they want to spend lots on their weddings. What I have done now is given this whole thing a summary, and I have also paraphrased it. So paraphrasing helps me understand, helps me in comprehension. If any similar word or different words are used in the questions, I will be able to spot them easily. I understood the concept. Remember, it's not IELTS. You got to understand the concept here, because you have to interpret the meaning behind the passage. So I've understood that. And when I'm going between questions and the passage, I have a quick summary. If there's some question about getting into debt, I know that this paragraph has that answer, because it's a quick summary, and I will do this with every paragraph, and I would know which paragraph contains what main idea. So you do paraphrasing, you do summary, and you will have a very easy time attempting the CELPIP reading questions. Now, CELPIP reading vocabulary, if you don't practice vocab, it's going to affect your reading, speaking, and writing, because you need good vocab for the writing and speaking. But in reading too, you need excellent vocabulary, because the words that come in the exam are very difficult. So check out our 400 CELPIP based word list below. It's free of cost. Link is in the description. Plus, here's a gift for you guys. 5 reading tests with answers, all 4 parts covered, real exam-like difficulty, and the answers have explanations. So check those out. They're all included in the links in the description for the first time. It is free of cost. So check those out. You will not regret it. If you can pass those mock tests, you can make it in the exam. All right, let's talk about CELPIP listening. Important to note, when CELPIP listening plays, the audio plays, you don't see anything on your screen. The questions come later. So you're supposed to take notes while you listen to the audio, and then use those notes to answer the questions. Only in part 5 you see a video, but again, you don't have questions in front of you, so you still have to take notes, and in the video you just have to observe who is saying what. More on this later. Okay, so with that said, the main skill you want to get better at is multitasking, because you will be listening and writing notes at the same time. The more notes you write, the better. Okay, some people ask me, can I listen first and then take notes? No, you will forget, especially parts 4, 5, and 6. Very quick, so you'll forget very quickly. So you gotta take notes while listening, which is hard to do, but this is a multitasking skill you have to practice. How do you practice it? Use HZad Education's mock tests. They are in our course in the description. You can check it out. And when you listen, if you can take as many notes as possible, you will have a very easy time answering the questions. Very similar to strategy number 2, basically. Practice note taking while listening. Remember, the more notes, the better. imagine this. If the whole transcript is given to you, and then you're given the questions, will you get anything wrong? No, because it's kind of a memory game. The exam is testing your English and memory, so you want to write as much as possible, or remember and write, do a combination, so when the questions come, you're ready to answer. Now, number 3 strategy is to make columns for parts 5 and 6. Part 5, there are 2 to 4 speakers, mostly 3, who are talking. So what you do is make columns. For each speaker, you make a column, write down what they're saying. Part 6, it's a debate. It's usually 2 people who have different opinions, or it could be 3 or 4 people, each person or each organization giving their own opinion. Whenever the opinion changes, make a separate column. This is highly important. People mix up notes all the time. If you can, however, separate the information, you would know clearly the sequence of the things that are said, and also who said what, and also who supports what, who's against something, and so on. Why this is especially useful is, for example, in part 5, you get questions where the question would say, what did Bob disagree with compared to Sarah? Now here, if you don't know what Bob said, and you just have notes with each person's statements, you're screwed, right? So make sure you make separate columns for separate speakers, and part 6 for separate people giving separate opinions. Now here's a little funny problem we have in CELPIP listening. You get 1 to 2 sheets of paper. When your paper is running out, when you have about half a page left, please ask for a piece of paper, because this happens a lot. People run out of the page, they ask the invigilator to give them another page, and during that time, the audio is being played. You're missing valuable listening time. You're not taking notes during that time. So before that happens, request a piece of paper. Trust me, if you get into that situation, it'll save you a lot of headache. All right. Eliminating the other options is point number 5 in CELPIP listening. When you look at the multiple choice questions, so it's not all about listening to the audio and note taking, right? When you have the options, multiple choice options, make sure you compare and eliminate the wrong options. A lot of times I've seen students look at option number A and they say, well, this is good, I'm going to put that as the answer. But what you don't know is option C is also correct. Sometimes there are 2 correct answers. One is just more correct than the other. So if you didn't look at B, C, D and eliminate them, you're making a mistake. Make sure you look at all options, even if one looks better than the other. Use the elimination method, and sometimes it helps you even get the right answer if you eliminate what you thought initially was correct. Okay, let's talk about CELPIP writing. You got to understand the structure here. If you do this, you would have 90% problems solved, okay? For the informal and formal emails, there is a different structure, and I haven't included it on the screen, but you have to give the salutation at the start. Dear Sir, Madam for formal, and Dear Name for informal. Ending salutations. For formal, it is yours sincerely and your full name. For informal, it is best regards, that's good enough. Best regards, and your first name is enough. So salutations need to go there. But more importantly, you got to understand that task 1 has 5 paragraphs. That's the structure. And in these 5 paragraphs, the way it's organized is to give you marks for coherence, task response, and making sure you're in the word limit. So what you want to do for informal letters is intro and conclusion are just greetings, stuff like, hey, how's it going? How are family and kids? Long time no see. Greeting at the end would be something like, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Let me know how we can connect again soon. Something informal and friendly, lots of love to kids, stuff like that. And again, check out our templates. They are in the description so you can see exactly what words and phrases you have to use. Now you would see in body 1 and 2 and 3, basically the 3 paragraphs in the middle, you're answering bullet point 1 in body 1, bullet point 2 in body 2, bullet point 3 in body 3. Usually you're given 3 bullet points in the question. We simply have 1 paragraph per bullet point. Easiest way to structure this. This way you will give each bullet enough attention, and you will not have an examiner saying, well, I didn't feel like you answered this one, you answered the other bullet more. So just give it separate attention. You're also showing the examiner that I am answering each of these bullets here. So look, I'm not missing task response. You'll also get marks for structure. So the same thing goes for the formal emails. Bullets 1, 2, 3 each have a body paragraph, okay? At the start you have the intro, and at the end you have the conclusion. The difference is in the intro, you want to start with the purpose. Here you don't say to your boss or the company you're applying for, hey, how are kids? You start here with the purpose. So you mention the purpose of my writing is, the objective of my writing is, and give the purpose, go straight away into that. Then the conclusion is a professional greeting. Again, it's going to be something like, looking forward to getting a prompt response on this matter. Hopefully we could set up a meeting soon, whatever the case presents. But if you want to check out our template, not if you want to, make sure to check out our templates. They'll give you the exact words and phrases you need for this exam. And to check out even more advanced and the best versions of our templates, check them out in our 15-hour CELPIP course down below. So this goes for task 1, which is emails. Now let's look at task 2. Task 2 is where you're given 2 options, option A, option B. You pick your option and you talk about that. Here, it's very hard to finish in less than 200 words. Remember, you can go up to 210, not more, otherwise your marks will be reduced. So you can go up to 210. You want to do 4 paragraphs, not 5. Again, it's hard to conserve words in this essay. Now here you want to start with the intro, give your opinion, what you support. In the conclusion, rephrase your opinion, mention it again, but in different words. Don't copy the same words from the intro. Body 1, you want to do 2 points supporting your choice. Body 2, you want to do 2 points opposing the other side. This gives you so many marks when you oppose the other side. You completely change the tone. Body 1 is positive, body 2 is negative. This gives you a huge range of vocab automatically. Shows versatility because you can express yourself. It gives you more words and phrases and more range you can use, because if you usually use the same stance, people repeat the same words. So it is highly recommended. Body 2 are 2 points opposing the other side. For example, if option A is about building a shopping mall, option B is about building a park. In body 1, you're gonna, let's say you select shopping mall, you will say 2 positive things about the shopping mall. Body 2, you will mention 2 negative things about the park, maybe something like mosquitoes, or it's gonna, maybe we have already a lot of parks and this will be an additional burden on the city without any use, something like that. So make sure it's 2 supporting points, body 1, 2 opposing points, body 2, for the perfect task 2 structure. Now let's talk about what you gotta focus on, the most important things. This is where people lose a lot of marks, or this is where you can save your exam. For grammar, when you're writing at home, you make grammar mistakes. Download Grammarly. It's going to point out what mistakes you're making. In my estimation, it is 70 to 80% accurate. So it's not 100% accurate because it doesn't understand the context. There's a solution to that down below. Point number 4. We'll get into that. Now, advanced vocab. Use good, complex, advanced words for the best marks. Use thesaurus.com. So when you write your essay or email, put the words in thesaurus.com, check out fancier combinations, try to use them in your next writing. Use our templates, very important. If you want to guarantee a good score, check out our HZad Education writing template and speaking templates down below as well. Use those words and phrases, plug and play, and your marks go up instantly. We also offer free feedback. You don't have to pay for it. Send us your writings at info@hzadeducation.com. We'll give you free feedback, tell you your score, tell you what you need to do to improve your scores. So, with that said, let's move on to our hardest module, probably, according to most people, CELPIP speaking. Now here are the common issues where people are losing marks in 2024 are being robotic. So this is a common feedback I give students. Express yourself more. Don't sound like a robot. A lot of you sound like robots. Please try to be more expressive, natural. People don't use adjectives. This, point number 2, is going to cure point number 1. When you use adjectives, you're talking about qualities of something. So you mentioned that this person looks extremely frustrated. So you see, when I do the adjective frustrated, the emphasis comes in automatically. So you want to not be robotic, do more adjectives. It also gives you marks for the range of vocab. Huge intros are a big problem. For example, in part 2, talk about your favorite food. People go like, there's lots of great foods. I'm a food enthusiast. I love cuisines. Talk about your favorite food, okay? In the next sentence, get to the point. Don't have huge intros. This affects your task response. Number 4, too many points. If you have 10 points in a 1-minute answer, trust me, you're gonna lose marks. I guarantee you, you will have task response errors. You would not have the range of vocab because all your sentences are gonna be tiny, and it's just gonna look like a bad answer. Instead, focus on 2 to 4 quality points. More on this later. Just make sure you have generally less points with more quality. So you have points which are well defined, they're descriptive, instead of too many points which are not described or they don't have descriptions at all. And grammar vocab errors are the most common, so make sure you improve your grammar and you have advanced vocab. You have a range of vocab and expressions. How to do this? Well, we'll get into that more on this slide. Let's talk about the solutions. Okay. Use our templates. HZad Education's 9+ speaking templates. They should be called 10+ because they actually give you that score. When you plug and play those words in your speaking answers, make sure to use them with expressions. Don't be robotic. Next, record your answers and use the speech-to-text software. So this software will transcribe everything you are saying. If you see the words that you're using are different than the words that are being written, it means you're not clear. Try to be more clear then. Change those words. Work on your accent. And by recording yourself, you again get to understand the nuances in your language, and then you have the speech-to-text to really help you understand how people hear you and what you need to change about it. Free evaluation is included. Just email us at info@hzadeducation.com with your speaking recordings. We will tell you exactly what you're doing incorrectly and what you can do to score 9 or higher. Now, finish 5 seconds early and start right away. Timing, very important. This is where people are losing marks too. When you have a 1-minute, 60-second question, aim to finish at 55 seconds. When you have a 90-second question, aim to finish at 85 seconds. Trust me, this always happens. You will go over the time. You will go over by a few seconds. So if you targeted 90 seconds, you would do 91 or 92. You would not have a proper conclusion. Your answer would cut off and you will lose marks. So try to finish 5 seconds early, and it's important to start right away. Don't stall. Examiners know this. If you are taking time on purpose so you don't have to talk much, that will make you lose marks. As soon as the timer starts, make sure you start as well with a deep breath. Be more expressive and use adjectives. We have covered this already, so make sure to do that. It's the #1 common mistake with students. And do 2 to 4 points per question. Okay, that's enough. 2 to 4 quality points will give you way more marks than 10 points, which are not quality and are just thrown in sentence after sentence after sentence. Make sure to have more quality descriptions and keep it less, but with more quality. More in task 5. So in task 5, it's different. You want to do 2 to 4 points per question, but in task 5, you want to really compare all your points with the opposite side. You want to compare their points to, say why your opponent's points are negative. What are the problems with those? And why your points are great. And usually you have 3 to 5 points per side. So you have about 8 to 10 points in that scenario, and you should try to talk about every single point there. The more you can talk, the more you can summarize, the more skills you can show in part 5 speaking. So that's a little different. But every other question, 2 to 4 points are more than enough, and not more than 4 points. That will actually make you lose marks. Practice pausing and breathing, okay? Helps you stay calm, gives you marks for confidence and tone, helps you think about the next thing you're going to say. So every time you finish a sentence or a major point, pause 1 second or half seconds, not more than 1.5, and just breathe, then go on with your next point. It gives you a lot of energy, confidence, and gives you good expressions too. So lots of benefits for doing this. Okay, now the final thing you want to consider is checking out our 15-hour CELPIP course. This literally guarantees you 10+. If you don't get that score, you get your money back. So check out that in the description. All details are included there, plus right here on your screen. There are more offerings. I just couldn't put it on the screen, but this is the best-selling course of CELPIP Online. Check this out. It'll have everything you need, 15 hours of dedicated training, written down worksheets, 5 mock tests, free feedback offer as well. More detail than what I've offered here. So check it out. All descriptions are in the links below. If you have any questions, please ask in the comment section. Like, share, and subscribe. We'll talk soon. Take care.